Hello friends, today I will be taking up the topic of ridgelines and economic region of production. We will move from the basics, that is isoquant, and move on to the topic. Students often get confused between indifference curve and isoquant. Indifference curve is for two goods giving the same level of utility, whereas isoquant is for two inputs giving the same level of output. Iso means same and quant means quantity. Means what combination of labor and capital will give you the same level of quantity. Like as we can see in the graph that there are 10 units of capital and 2 units of labor. Then labor is increased from 2 to 4. There are 2 labors are increased and capital is reduced by 1, but the quantity remains the same. As we can see the equation here, change in capital is by 1 unit and marginal productivity of 1 unit of capital is 14 units. Change in labor is by 2 units and marginal productivity of labor for 2 units is 14. 2 into 7, 14. So net output remains unchanged. Net output is the same because there has been reduction of 14 units on part of capital but a net addition of 14 units on part of labor. So we need to remember this MRTS L K, which will be used in further slides. Now various isoquants give isoquant map. You notice this figure and the figure which will be in the next slide. Is there any difference in the figure? Are you noticing something? The curves on the right are more curved, while that on the left are not so curved. There is only negative slope on the left side, but there has been a slight positive slope on the right side on both the ends. So what does this imply? As you can see that substitution was possible for the left side, the initial graph, but in right side we can notice that as labor is increased, capital is also increased, or as capital is increased, labor is also increased. Means same level of output requires more inputs. The same level of output, that is if say 100 units, requires more of both the inputs. So wouldn't a producer like to produce in such a region where more of both inputs is required? Absolutely no. Because it would cost more to the producer, so producer would not produce in the positively sloped region of isoquant. And from here we get the ridge lines and concept of economic region of production. Producer will produce only where substitution is possible, where the isoquant is negatively sloped. But no producer would like to produce on the positively sloped portion of isoquant. Let's analyze this further. Now, this diagram might be seeming dangerous to you, but we already know that producer will not produce in positively sloped portion of isoquant. Beyond H, beyond the points I, beyond the point J, there is a positively sloped region where same level of output will be produced by more of both the inputs, which a producer will never ever like to produce at. At point H, the line is parallel to labor. It implies that capital is fixed and labor is constantly increased. As one product remains fixed and the other is increased, we reach a total product where marginal product of the variable factor equals 0. Here at point H, MPL is 0. Beyond point H, we will get MPL negative, that is marginal product of labor will keep on diminishing beyond this region, and a producer would not like to produce because same level of output will require more of both the inputs. Similarly, on the other side beyond the point E, F and G, a producer will not produce because that is also a positively sloped portion. Producer produces in negatively sloped portion of isoquant only. The lines connecting these Hij, that is the marginal product of labor, is 0, and EFG, marginal product of capital, is 0, are called as ridge lines. The upper ridge lines connects all the points where marginal product of capital is 0, and lower ridge line connects all the points where marginal product of labor is 0. Between two ridgelines, we get the economic region because that is the zone of substitution. That is where we can substitute labor for capital as seen in earlier slides. And beyond this region, it is an uneconomic region because same output will be produced with more of both the inputs, which is not feasible for any producer. Now let's check more. As discussed, E, F and G are parallel to capital and their marginal product of capital will be 0. Then points H, I, J, their MPL is 0 and the lines connecting those are the ridge lines. On an economic region, both the marginal productivity of labor and capital will be positive, and this is often asked in MCQ based questions. This economic region is the zone of substitution and it is also known as stage 2, where a rational producer would like to produce. Now you may go through the notes once. Having gone through the notes, let's check for the MCQs. In an isochrone map, the area between two ridge lines gives. We have just discussed that the area between the two ridge lines is the zone of substitution. Beyond two ridge lines, we need more of both the inputs to produce the same level of output, which a producer won't go for. So, in an isochrone map, the area between two ridge lines gives economic region of production and zone of substitution. Both B and C are correct, so option B is correct. Next statement, which statement is wrong about ridge lines? Between two ridge lines, we get stage 2 of production process. Think about it. Between two ridge lines is the economic region and a rational producer produces in stage 2. And this stage 2 is the economic region for the producer, so statement A is correct. For statement B, the region between two ridge lines is called economic region of production. This is also true because beyond two ridge lines is uneconomic region. Corresponding to upper ridge line, MPL is 0. Think. This is not true because corresponding to upper ridge line, MPK is 0 and corresponding to lower ridge line, MPL is 0. In region between the two ridge lines is the zone of substitution, economic region, stage 2, substitution is possible. So, option D is also correct. Here the answer will be option C, which is incorrect. In an isochrone map, the following condition will hold for uneconomic region, will not hold for uneconomic region. Will not hold for uneconomic region implies that which will hold for economic region. So for economic region, it is a zone of substitution where both marginal productivity of labor and capital both are positive. So here I come to the end of the session. I hope you liked it. Thank you.